before all of these crypto, blockchain, all of that. But at times they say when reality hits you, you have to step back, because the bills, they don't know what you're talking about. When they come, they come. So we had to leave gaming for a bit, drop the phone. But now I'm back again into the gaming space. Why? Because the crypto space the blockchain has given an avenue for a lot of sectors, whether gaming, whether entertainment, whether agriculture, media, art. Finance is one of the major. Yes, because a lot of people are doing finance, crypto, blockchain, Bitcoin. Satoshi said it's a kind of finance that people will have to embrace in the coming future. And now here we are trying to embrace this technology. So yeah, what we just do is we introduce people to play games and they make money. So I'm not even marketing my company, leave my company out of it. So on the side of the blockchain, so people are creating games that you don't just play and you have fun. This time around, you play and you earn some certain level of, he told you guys about Coin News Extra app that's going to be rewarding people for watching programs on their platform. So that's the way these games are rewarding you for playing the games on, your phone, your PC. Some of them are beginning. I was speaking with one of our partner gaming company the other day, and they said they are also moving to PlayStation and Xbox console. So you'll see that the industry is not just going to remain where it is. There's going to be a collaboration. And she made mention of something, partnerships and collaboration. So if you are a player already in this space, or if you plan to come in, don't come in with the mindset of, okay, how do I build my own company to be better than this guy? No. Come in and say, okay, how can we have strategic partnerships that can further take the industry to the next level and also impact in the lives of people? So yeah, this next panel is actually about the NFT, the metaverse economy. We're going to have amazing people who are very well knowledgeable in that field. And, okay, so they are very well knowledgeable in that field. And I know that we're going to enjoy and take a lot of things out. Okay, so I've just been informed that panel will come later. So there's another panel that's going to come first. So the panel that's going to come first is around investments. For people who are trying to start up companies, I'm currently a co-founder. So I told you, yes, I'm a business developer. I'm a co-founder in the company where I work. And chasing funds is not the easiest. How many of us are building any kind of product here? Okay, we have to building, okay. And I know access to funding sometimes can be a hassle. Then when you now get to the point where you're talking to VCs, that is even the one where if you're not, they will just booger you small. And you think maybe you have answered questions wrongly. So yeah, they're going to decipher how investments are done, why you should invest. If you are, so I know some people are here, they might be hiding themselves, they might be angel investors, they might be people who have maybe syndicates, and you want to be able to decipher how to even invest in some of the companies that are coming up. And maybe they might even touch on how you can even invest too in buying some of these tokens and crypto. People always like to ask me about which coin will I buy. Like I said at the very beginning, the blockchain industry isn't just about crypto. That's just a subset. And for me, cryptocurrency is a means to actually reward you for whatever you have done using some of these platforms. Maybe we'll say Bitcoin and a couple of others that came out as, okay, we are cash, we are money, we are finance. They have been the ones that have said, okay, use this platform. If you don't know the name that is associated with Bitcoin, let me say it today. Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay, so I want you guys to please just give me a moment Let me. Sorry for that break. I've just informed that the Metaverse guys, all the panelists there, they are around, so we can go on with our panel. So I won't waste so much time again talking. I will just call off the amazing people and panelists who are going to actually be on that panel. So listen, if you love art, you love anything around visual, even gaming, I think that's a conversation that should interest you. I know a lot of people must have heard about NFTs. What are NFTs? People have made a killing. When it was really a trend, Jack, the first ever tweet on Twitter. How many of us knew how much that was sold for? Who knows how much it was sold for? 6 million WhatsApp. Thank you very much. A tweet. Someone will say, is it not just JPEG? It's you that know if you call it JPEG or whether you call it a picture. It was sold for how much? 6 point something million dollars. Ha! God. I call it influence. That's what played out there. So yeah, let's go straight to the panel section. And people who are part of this panel is, I call on Mr. Stephen Kusu. He's the founder and CEO of Kusu Consult. Mr. Stephen Kusu came all the way from up north to grace us with his presence. With this, let's give him a round of applause as he comes off the stage. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. I don't know anywhere you want to start from, there or here. Okay, there's a mic there, so you don't sit on it. Yeah, so the next person who is also on this, he's an ex-Big Brother Nigeria housemate. He's the CEO of Met Art Africa. And let's make welcome Yerins Abraham. Please. That's him very well. So if you watched one of the past Big Brother Nigeria episodes, he was part of the housemates. So he's into art. And I know he made that explicitly known while he was in the house. I'm happy to have you on the stage today, sir. So the last but not the least panelist is Ewo Abdullahi. He's a board of director near Protocol Nigeria. Is he around? Okay, so we'll also make welcome Mr. Paul Izafulukwe. He's the senior business development manager at one of the global leading exchanges, Bitget. If you watch football a lot, you might see them on Juventus. I think Juventus, the team. You will see them on the arm of the shirt of Juventus. You're welcome on stage, sir. He's also the former president of one of the leading association in the blockchain space, Stakeholders in Blockchain Technology Association of Nigeria. I'm a member of that association. He was the past president, and they put together a lot of us into one platform where we have also been mediating and talking with the government about how crypto is not here to harm the people, but is here to actually create value, which a lot of people can actually tap into. So thank you so much to be on stage, sir. So the moderator for this panel is a friend, and his name is Olubumi Fabon. He's a blockchain evangelist. Let me expose him a bit. He used to be in the banking sector. He played a lot around there, and it's great to have you, sir. So he will be moderating this panel, so I'll give them their time to take the stage. Okay, pictures.
All right, good morning, everybody. Morning. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I don't know why blockchain people are always very cold, and they have the most money. All right, good morning again. My name is Olubumi Fabanwo. I'm blockchain evangelist, but also I work with Binance. I'm the affiliate program manager for Binance, but I'm not working in Binance capacity, so we can all relax. I'm so proud to be sitting among the stars. I had to read up. I know Earrings, and of course, Mr. Paul. So I had to read up on Kusu Consult, and I confirmed that I'm actually sitting among the stars. Please, can you give these panelists a round of applause? So if you are looking for the who is who of blockchain space, these are the guys, to be honest. Yerins, I'm not sure I can see you very well, but no problem. Okay, guys. So yeah, the subject is NFT and the metaverse. So we'll be looking at opportunities, because I think it's very important for us to share that to the general public, let them understand that away from everything they hear about NFTs and the metaverse, there's actually economic potential and the opportunities. So I'll just be doing random questions to be able to establish some of these facts. So before we start, I think it's very important for, I don't know who wants to go, to introduce what those terms are. NFT, the metaverse. So people interchange these things, people that do not understand. What's the relationship between between NFTs and the metaverse? What exactly is the metaverse? Are we in the metaverse? What are NFTs? How do they apply in the real world? I hope those questions are not too many.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, guys. First of all, I'd like to say I'm glad to be here and, just talk a little about NFTs, the metaverse, and just the whole, blockchain space. So first of all, NFTs. NFTs are more of, like the name, non-fungible tokens, and these non-fungible tokens are used in the blockchain community. Now, okay, then for metaverse is a visual reality in which, people can interact, and people can communicate and people can, it's all about individualism. Now, all this is all inside what is called Web3. And basically, NFTs are kind of like a tool in the Web3 or the blockchain universe or the blockchain space, and also the metaverse. So you need this blockchain for you to build a visual reality. And in order to build a visual reality, you need this blockchain. And this blockchain itself, helps with, getting, let's say, the needed facilities and people to get. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I think we are pretty much clear about that. Thank you so much for doing justice. Stephen, do you want to chime in?
Okay, just in simple terms, metaverse is a virtual community, a virtual space like we are, like this room, recreating it virtually. And NFT is the tool that powers that particular space, right? So for you to be able to give some kind of value in the metaverse, the NFT helps you to achieve that. So just in simple terms, we're in this room, we want to give this room some kind of value. We create some kind of NFTs to add up, to flesh up this particular room, right? So that's, in simple terms, that's what the tool should look like.
All right, thank you. Mr. Paul, before you go for that, I want to ask you a very important question. So about NFTs, I think that there has been so much buzz about it in the last 2 years. However, if you are being honest, the buzz has gone down a bit. So you being in the space, what exactly do you think about that? Do you think it's something that is temporary? Do you think it's something that will still come back up and everybody's screaming about NFTs, and do you have an NFT?
Of course, I have an NFT. The thing about the space is there's always a hype that goes before every emerging technology. And with the hype will come a lot of bubble. I was reading the statistics of OpenSea recently, and I realized that I think at their peak, they were doing about $700 million. Recently, the statistics is not is very low. No, it's more than 60%. I think almost about 86 or 90% down from that amount. Now, the question is what happened? You know, if you look at the entire system, one thing that is very interesting is the fact that there was a lot of hype that went with the entire NFT ecosystem that had no intrinsic value. You know, I think Professor Ekekwe he did a write-up recently and was talking about NFTs and his village market. And one thing that came to mind was some of the NFTs that were sold had no utility, and people bought them. Okay, when Chike was introducing us here, he talked about Jack Ma's first tweet. That particular tweet has no intrinsic value. It could tomorrow turn out to be a store of value to the owner or a bragging right, like my brother Chuta will always say. But the truth remains that when the guy who bought it initially brought it to the market, he couldn't sell it for more than $800. I can't remember how much it was priced. This was something he bought in the millions. He brought it to the market, and nobody was buying it for about $800. And I think he was surprised. I saw where he wrote a piece and was talking about his tweet. But nobody forced him to buy the first tweet. You understand? The only thing is for him to keep it, probably on his own, create a utility around it, and maybe one day it becomes valuable. So, exactly like that Jack Ma's first tweet, we have had a lot of projects that built NFTs without any utility. So what happened was, at the peak of the hype, a lot of people bought them. When the hype went down, it is the intrinsic value that will hold that particular ecosystem. When there is no value, it goes down. So that's actually what we are seeing. And we'll keep seeing that. But as the days go by, as different projects like Mana, Decentraland, there is Over, and I've forgotten their name. There are quite a number of them. They are building their platforms where you could go do take courses in the metaverse, where you could see a doctor in the metaverse, where you could see virtual museums in the metaverse. So many utilities. Until they get there, that is when we'll now begin to see a rise in the NFTs, which are the avatars, and the tokens. We will now see a gradual increase. But for now, I think the market might still remain here. Anything that will come in the immediate future will still be hype until we see utility around it.
All right, thank you very much. I don't know if you were listening, but none of anything he has said is financial advice. So please ensure you do your own research, DYOR. So Stephen, you run a business, a blockchain consulting business. Yes. So this question, I'm bringing it home to Nigeria, to Africa. How exactly do businesses tap into the whole metaverse thing? How do I make economic value of it?
Okay. This is actually a very tough question. I am currently running a part of the Polkadot Relias program, and one of the sessions is always hosted on Gather Town. Now, Gather Town is a metaverse idea, and there's always a breakout session and all that. So like he said. Right now, metaverse platforms are beginning to add value to their products by hosting different courses. So, for instance, I want to run a paid training. I can host it on a metaverse platform, and do anything I want to do. So I'm even planning an event, and somebody is asking me to have a site event for them. So for instance, that will happen on the metaverse. There can be a breakout session while the conference is still happening like this. There can still be a breakout session to meet the need of that particular company, right? So my senior brother and mentor, Paul, said, there's always need to create value. Once there is value, the subscription is there already. So once you're able to meet the need of people, actually, when you look at the entire blockchain ecosystem, the reason why Bitcoin has gone to the level it has gone, it's because it met a certain need, and that was the financial need of people in the ecosystem. It made a whole lot of people, kudos to people like Chuta, who made blockchain relevant in this country. Like it or not, Chuta would run to Abuja to host events. Please, let's clap for him. I'm not saying this to flatter Chuta. He doesn't even know that I know him until I met him recently in Abuja and told him how I met him. In 2019, I was here with you on the stage, and so kudos to people like him who are trying to push the technology. He'll run to Abuja to host events, come down to Lagos to host events. Sometimes people don't turn out. But today, the fire has been caught across the country. You have these kind of events. Day before yesterday was the blockchain day at the Digital Nigeria conference. Kudos to people like him. Now the government is saying, can we have a discussion on the table? Ma, good news to you. On that day, I was together with one of your Delta brothers, and after the event, we got a request to trickle down that same event in Delta. So I think we would have a beautiful conversation with you after this. But just to buttress on the point I was just trying to make, you create value, you cannot go unnoticed. We have a lot of beautiful ideas. We have the government, for instance, we have about 36 states with Ministry of Tourism. Can we deploy this same ministry on the metaverse? Come up with NFTs, tokenize these ministries on the metaverse, and see if government will still rely on national subvention. Let's try something out of the regular things we do. So yes, there is business in the metaverse, there is business on NFT, but it depends on how you want to wrap value around it. Sorry, I talked too much. So
fantastic. Please, let's give him a round of applause. I mean, those are real nuggets. I think that I pick a lot of sense from what you're speaking about. And I'm going to say to Mr. Chuta, please, whenever we are engaging the government on metaverse and NFT issues, please, can you get him on that conversation? So Yerins, I mean, I'm sure almost everybody knows Yerins. You're popular from BBN. So I would have thought that with your, everything, your swagger, I would have thought that you just end up being a model and all of that. But look at you, you're in the blockchain space. And I mean, you're doing pretty good. So as an individual, let's talk to people. How exactly do I get value out of the NFT space? How do I become maybe an NFT KOL? How do I develop myself? What value can I probably get? How can I become a person in that space?
Okay, thank you very much. So first of all, you have to understand that, the NFT itself, under, non-fungible token or as a non-fungible token, the whole ecosystem is, according to SkyQuest, in 2021, NFTs were valued at $15 billion. and they are projecting it to be $122 billion in 2028. So this is an ecosystem that is ever rising, and people are very, very curious about it. Now, how do you get into the space, and how do you build yourself from it? Okay, so first of all, you have to understand that this is something that people will be using in every aspect of their life in almost in very, very, very soon, and it's very, very close to us. Yes, there was this rush into the system, and people didn't, really put value into it. But now people are taking it back and like, oh, okay, how can I infuse value? And by infusing value, people use non-fungible tokens as real estate. In real estate, you can use it to do ticketing events. You can use it as a certificate. These blockchains and also all these things are needed. And if you're a young individual looking to go into just building something new and building for the future, I think NFTs are the best things to go into. So you don't necessarily need to know the techie part of everything in the NFT, but just this area that I am in, how do I bring it in, and what is the value? So you first understand what non-fungible tokens are, and then you look for a way to connect whatever you're doing to that non-fungible token, and it will make every other thing possible. So if you need more knowledge on it, of course the internet is there, and you'll be surprised the amount of knowledge you can get from there. So I also understand that there is this fear to get into it because, of course, I know the NFT ecosystem, and they're a little bit gatekeeping. People don't, if you don't know about it, don't know about it. But you don't need to have that fear. All you just need to do is build yourself in whatever area you are in, get a little knowledge about NFTs, and see how you guys can connect, and it will be great.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, just to add. So I run this company called Gonana. It's a farmer's marketplace. And the idea, right, was how can we even because we wanted to see, aside serving the marketplace function and then helping farmers to get introduced to crypto and all that, how can we be able to turn these farmers' products, like pictures and the rest, into NFT. So it's going to be like agriculture and art, right? So, but we noticed that we might probably be targeting the wrong set of people. So like he said, truth be told, NFT can be a very dicey game as long as you have, I would want to even canvas for this, that can we leave NFTs for people that are into arts, people that are into performing arts? For instance, I am a musician, right? Can I tokenize my? Can I be able to get royalties from what I do? I'm a gamer. Can I be able to get royalties from all these things? So at the end of the day, we don't just run into the bubble, and then when it busts, then every other thing goes down the drain. For instance, we're working, it's very key to identify even the primary blockchain that you work with. I am working with a company called Water Blockchain. What they do basically is blockchain for for commodities, right? So that is even meeting my own need. My primary need is meeting it. So if I have a blockchain that is solving the issue of, that is focused on NFTs and metaverse, then run to it. So we build the ecosystem in clusters. But the idea has always been, let's jump on the bubble, and so I think we need to begin to run away from that and build real value. Then we can be able to help solve the problem we are trying to solve. Sorry.
Thank you, Stephen and Yeri. So I would like to say again, for anybody out there that thinks that they're already late. All right. If you think you're late to this, you're not. Sure. This is, NFTs maybe like 5 years, that's when we started seeing a lot more utility. So please, Jump in. You've listened to Steven. There are so many opportunities. Look at Yerins. Yerins is now a tech bro. I mean, it doesn't matter where you started from, whatever gave you fame. You can always jump on blockchain and get more fame and money. Am I right, Yerins? I'm still coming back to you. All right, sir. Okay, I'll give you the mic. So, we've been speaking about advantages, about value, about all these things. Nice things about NFTs and the metaverse. But then you know us in the blockchain space, we are as decentralized as it comes. And also decentralized with the way we think. So yes, we understand that these things have advantages. However, what are the demerits? I've listened to people speak about how the metaverse being a virtual world just creates, it gives you like some kind of depression in the real world. Because in the metaverse, you're probably like Elon Musk, you're a billionaire, you've created a profile. Then once you step out of that virtual reality, you become you, that guy that has almost nothing in his pocket. So can you say that's a disadvantage? Or what other disadvantages do you see around this emerging tech? And also, where does regulation come in at that point?
Well, on a personal note, I think when I remember that question reminds me of when Jack Ma was asked that what would be the most required virtue or the most required job description in the next, after all we build the robots and everything, and he said empathy. Empathy, and looking at that, you notice with this generation and the people who are coming after, there's a lot of disconnect, especially with remote work, where people don't interact anymore with their fellow human beings. And it breeds, like you said, depression. It also breeds so many unwanted characters. If you go online, like, yes, something happened yesterday on Twitter, and I was wondering, somebody just went haywire for nothing, And at the end of the day, I just found out that he was just chasing clout, using some people's challenges, and he was blowing it. I know those are the things that come with these worlds where you don't have, where people are not held accountable to a certain extent. But I think by and large, for every good thing that comes, there's always an advantage. And I think if used wisely, there's going to be, the advantage would outweigh, especially in the area of education, quality education. You could be in a classroom with one of the best teachers in the world, and at a reduced cost, not necessarily flying to UK or US to do the same thing. And you could also see, especially in concerning our, we all know how our medical industry is in Africa, where everybody has to go to UK or US or India to even treat ordinary headache. We will see a lot of utility around that industry, the medical industry. And for me, it's a very big plus, because we need to, the amount of money we spend on those two particular industries, we need to bring it home and keep it home here. The forex that these two industries use outside the country is killing the economy. The small dollars we have, we are using it for that. And of course, there are a lot, I think if used wisely, like every other thing, there's going to be far more, it's going to be far more advantageous, especially for developing nations in Africa, like Nigeria. But there are also disadvantages, like I said. Depression, lack of empathy by people. Somebody said it is there that we might even see the start or the spark of the next war or whatever. Because, one thing, because of the unregulated space, a lot of people tend to spread any news. They tend to hype any news out of proportion just because they have a phone, an Android phone, and they have internet connectivity. They just blow every other thing out of proportion. And it's already we are beginning to see that Somebody can bring a false news and drop it on Twitter. And before you know what's happening, it can go to the metaverse and people are already discussing it in spaces. If you go to Twitter spaces and clubhouses, you see some discussions, you wonder how, where, what? It's even totally different from the reality. Why are these people discussing this here? They discuss funny subjects. And imagine they are in a room in the metaverse. It's the same thing, and it spreads like that. So we would have a lot of fake news being spread. We'll have a lot of that going on. So the place of regulation is very important. It is time these ecosystems become regulated. Of course, because of the decentralized nature where you have to plug in your wallet and connect, I see regulation also having being not overreaching, because if I can just plug in on my phone, who will regulate me sitting in a room? It's quite difficult, So, but something has to happen for there to be sanity. And imagine your son or your daughter, you send them to a room, there may be children's room to go to in the children's metaverse or Disney World, because I heard Disney is also building their metaverse, and one crook somewhere decides to play, and the boy is watching what they are doing. So how do we guard against that for children, for minors, So those are things that industry practitioners, stakeholders will have to keep thinking about, keep evolving on, so that we'll have a peaceful, safe metaverse. I think recently somebody said he or she, he or her, I can't even remember, how I think it's a he, she, or whatever they call them, that said her avatar was abused in the metaverse. So those are snippets of the future. Those are snippets of what we are going to see in the near future. So how do we curtail? How do we manage? How do we make sure that people are still able to go in and come out safe? I think those are things that we need to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so one thing that I think is the flaw of humans is the fact that no matter the idea or no matter how pure an idea is, humans always find a way to, go around it. And that's what decentralization is kind of solving. We are like, what? These corporations, they own these, big companies and, applications and all, and they can get to dictate. So let's say, this platform is very good to us right now. And this platform is very good to us right now because, the CEO is a good guy. And then maybe one day the next CEO comes and he's like, I hate all of you. I want to remove this. And you that use the platform, you have no choice than to abide by that. And even users too. So decentralization of Web3 is like, let's take this out of humans' hands and put it in a system where people get to make transactions that are verified by other people that don't know them, and you get to, connect with other people without having to, maneuver your way. And like I said, Web3 blockchain, it's just starting, and no matter, even Web2, or back in 1998, 1996, when it all started, people projected that it's going to be bad, it's going to this, it's going to that, and even the problems that were projected then are not the problems Web2 is having now. So, the most important thing is to start and to solve the major problem. And the major problem was putting, this financial technology, putting all these things in the hands of humans. Like I said, it's a good idea, but it's humans. Yeah? So we are taking it back and saying, let's make this a decentralized space where corporations don't get to, it's individuals. And to verify these entities, to verify these apps, we need computers that will, and a system where computers are the ones that do this job. And that's what is going on. And there's lots of ups and downs, but the good thing is where NFTs or where blockchain is or was 2012 or 2015 is not where we are right now. And even then they didn't know that we will encounter some of the issues we have now, but we have solved some. Ethereum just went to proof of stake. This is just very, very massive for the blockchain entirely. So we will keep progressing. And the most important thing is that we started something amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please, let's give our panelists a round of applause. I told you that I was sitting amongst the stars, dropping nuggets on top of nuggets. Our time is already fast spent, so we would not be able to take questions. However, if you have any questions, okay, we can take questions. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, so we can take 4 questions. All right, if you have any questions for any of the panelists, we've been talking about NFTs and the metaverse. I have earrings, I have Steven, I have Mr. Paul. Any questions? All right, somebody. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Okay, sir. Stop working. Maybe you want to come forward. You can use my mic. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Shitu Abimbola, and I'm a writer in this space, blockchain space. So my question is twofold. While I was sitting there, my seatmate asked a very important question, and she said, "What is the need of all of this? I mean, have we finished exploring our universe? Why do we need to move to metaverse?" That's number one question. Then the number 2 question, I think I'll have to do a little bit of introduction before I go to the number 2 question. So the metaverse, the word meta means extra or super. The verse from universe. So extra universe. So does it mean that we can be in 2 universes per time? I be in a meta, and I be in the one that God created. So, and non-fungible token, anything that is non-fungible means cannot be replicated, right? Cannot be divided. 100 naira note is fungible because you can divide it to 250 naira note or 520 naira notes. So, NFTs, why exactly are they expensive? I mean, you mentioned Jack selling something for, what is the rationale for the exorbitant price that they go for?
Let's give him a round of applause. Before you go on, so my first question, I think Steven said my question was difficult. Have you seen difficult question now? All right, so do you want to go? Which one of them are you going to go for?
Let me just, 1 or 2.
All right.
First thing is, why are they expensive? Now, do you know the Bored Ape Yacht Club? Okay, the Bored Ape, I think at its peak, the highest Bored Ape, the highest NFT, I think it went for as much as, was it up to $1 million? Over $1 million. Now, who are the owners of those, who are the owners of those NFTs? People like Gary Vee, The Beast. The Beast has about, I think, more than 10 million subscribers. Friends of Gary Vee. You have, what's this young artist? Quite a number of artists. I think even Drake. Yeah? Snoop Dogg has. Now, it's an exclusive club where their utility is access to them. They could be in Dubai and the gate pass is your ownership. Once you show ownership of a Bored Ape Yacht Club, you enter. Now, is it Yugo Labs that built the entire Bored Ape ecosystem? They wove a lot of utility around it. So now access to those kind of people is top notch. Now there are also some crypto groups in that ecosystem where you could have access to VC funding, you could have access to information about the next big thing, and that is massive. You could have access to probably like Aptos that just came. Maybe they would even allow you to buy pre-funding. You know, there are so many utilities around it. You understand? It's like belonging to a Ikoyi club. It's not for everybody. It's expensive. You understand? But it gives you access. You could go walk in there, you see Dangote. You could walk in there, you see Otedola. Now, you go there and you become friends because you're also a club member. You understand? So that's why it's expensive. Now, but for somebody who bought Jack Ma's tweet, it's hype. Not Jack Ma, sorry, Jack
Dozie.
Jack Dorsey. He was even surprised at the offer. He was surprised. He didn't believe it could get to that amount. Now, there are other people who they have too much money. You know, there are people who had 10,000 Ether, 15,000 Ethereum, when Ethereum was $20. So he looks at it now, Ethereum is $5,000. Calculated, that's crazy for somebody who's living in a third world country like Pakistan, some of those countries, and he's like, let me buy this. It could be a bragging right. So there were people also who were just buying because they had a lot of money, not knowing what to do with them. So, but there are particular utilities. There are some, I've forgotten, is it crypto punks? They have, if you belong there, there's a group you belong to, there's access. You have access to so many things. And so it is. Because of time, let me just stay there. Let others take the other question.
Okay, either of you, so he asked, what's the need for this? And can you be in the real world that God created and also in the metaverse that we have created?
Okay, yes,
Very quickly, just
Okay,
30
yes, very
seconds.
quickly. Okay, so for the metaverse, so when Web 2 came back in 1995, when it was like predominant and people were using HTTP, building, apps and all, one thing that was important for people was connectivity. And people just wanted to connect. I can connect to my friend that is in another state, I can connect to my friend. And down to 2005, it got to a whole other stage where people were building apps that was very easy. Africa got to connect with lots of things, lots of other continents. People got to see the African space. People got to see that, Africa is not just what they portray on TV. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, it was so interesting because people got to connect. Now, Web 3 and the metaverse itself is, taking that connectivity to another level. Now, and it's not even taking it in terms of corporation, but as an individual. So when, back when COVID came and people were in their house and all, most people struggled to connect, do this connecting. And, that was when there was this very high increase in Web3 and the metaverse because people just wanted to be in their home and have this discussion feeling like they're in the office. Now, if you are in your house and let's say you're walking, there is some kind of hindrance because you have no back and forth conversation with someone that you can get the job done. That's why most people go to the office, because I can ask someone a quick question and go back to work and, productivity is very, is on a fast pace. But if there is no metaverse, so that's one of the stuffs that metaverse is solving. When you get to that metaverse, you get to have that interaction. Even concerts, you get to have that friendly interactions without having to go to that place. Like I said, it's connectivity. So not everybody has ticket to go to New York and attend one festival,
Right.
But I can do that with the metaverse. And like I said, a concert, board meetings, conversations, interviews, even so that's just the idea of the metaverse. So
With these few words of yours, you've been able to convince him that there's need for the metaverse and the NFTs. Please,
Thank you very
we
much.
cannot take any more. We've taken too much time. Okay, please, can we take our question? Please, just...
It's a lady. I
Stephen
have
is
to
going
be
to take it.
sentimental about
Please.
this.
All right, please, let's have her.
Please, let's allow her, please.
Yeah. Stephen, you take this. Please, not exceeding 20 seconds.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Farida Amao. And I have two questions too, so yeah, I'm really going to stretch it out. Firstly, we were talking about the metaverse and everything. Do you see the need for maybe in government regulation, like maybe regulating the rights of people in metaverse? And because you were talking about someone being sexually abused in the metaverse, do you think because so many people now are on the virtual plane and basically spend their whole lives and earn money from the virtual plane, do you think that we need a new regulation that, okay, you want to make a metaverse person, this person is going to have a whole legal personality, like he has rights, he has duties to people. If he gets paid or something, you have to pay your taxes to the meta government. But yes, do you think that there would be a need for this moving forward? And the second question I have is more about the NFT spaces. And I wanted to ask, for people in Africa, do you think that there will be a need for some sort of intellectual property kind of protection as people are coming up? Because, right now it's a very unregulated space. So, like the Wild West, free for all. So would there be any need for that?
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
10 seconds, 10 seconds. Intellectual property, government regulation.
Yes, there will be a need for government regulation because children will definitely go into the metaverse and their rights, their privileges has to be protected because if not, people would abuse them. They would sell what they are not supposed to sell. Ideas. You can turn a child's mind by what the child is viewing. And if you sell what the child is not supposed to view to that child, you'll be held responsible. So there'll definitely be a need for regulation.
Thank you very much, sir. Regulation works with innovation.
Okay. So why would you limit your question to Africa? Why not the globe? Because, so now the idea is whatever works for the West should work for Africa, right? So anything that you feel it's proper, intellectual property, I always want to move for intellectual property for people, original content creators, right? Or original idea innovators. So everyone deserves to have ownership to his ideas. So there should be something like that, even with the NFTs. That's why I'm even moving a notion that government should support these NFTs so that. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, the audience. You've been a wonderful audience. Please, can you give everybody a round of applause? Yerin, Stephen, and Mr. Paul. Thank you very much, guys.
A wonderful session. Please, let's play a round of applause again for them. Again, please. Thank you. We're going to have pictures with them. The president of Fintech Association, please, can you, and madam, please, can you come? And the CEO of Fintech Association, Mr. Lee, please, let's have a photo session with them. Thank you. Hello, hello, hello. I'm back on stage. So, how many of us learned a lot from that conversation? If you had any kind of misconception about the metaverse, NFT economy, did they do some kind of justice to it for you? They did, right? Thank you. You know, in 2017, I came across a platform called Social Life. Social Life was not, it had the vibe of the metaverse. In fact, I might call it the metaverse. Sometimes we attribute anything metaverse-like that is built on the blockchain. And I will not argue with anybody. So it had a platform where my younger cousin introduced me to it. He's a gamer. So he told me, Chike, there's this game I'm playing. Let me show it to you. Social Life. And I went into that place. He also went in. And we approached somebody, a lady, and the girl asked him, what is your name? On the platform. You can Google it, Social Life. And he told her his name, and she's from Russia. So Nigeria, Lagos, somebody who is in where? Russia. And we started having communication on that social platform. And do you know what the girl said? She said, I have never heard about Nigeria before. I only know about Africa. And the next day, she came back again. They were on the platform. I didn't know what she told him. She said, I asked my friends and my father and a lot of other people about, I will never forget that day, about Nigeria. And do you know what her response was? She said, I heard that there's a lot of terrorists and beggars in Nigeria. What does that tell you? So let me tell you something. Some people may not see the need for the metaverse economy. But it is how, like I said at the beginning, technology is a tool in the hands of who? The player. If you decide to do anything on the metaverse, you can portray Nigeria as paradise. People who are going to be on that metaverse will come and see the amazing things that Nigeria has to offer. If you do art, please pay closer look to NFTs. We have museums everywhere. If you're an art curator and all of that, you should know all of that. We have those art galleries everywhere in Lagos, in a lot of places, Abuja and all of that. Artworks are just there, waiting for the world to see them. Gone are the days where the white people always come down here, or people from different parts of the world come down here to see Nigerian art. That is gradually going away, but it is coming back. Some people are beginning to bring art to the forefront. But in order for those people who love art that cannot come to Nigeria, go to any of the metaverses. If it's Decentraland, anyone, if it's Sandbox, if you love art, go and look for how you can. If it's to get small space there, start showcasing these artworks. You don't know who might just see it, and he might pay you in whichever, if it's in Ethereum, is in whatever the currency that metaverse uses. And I know there's a lot of misconceptions. So just look at it. And the young lady that asked this question, if you know you are good you know how to do security, go and start a private security company on the metaverse. And put your service out there. Before you know it, maybe one day the government will be consulting you on the metaverse for security advice. I'm just saying though, anything goes as far as it's good. So thank you so much. A round of applause again for everybody who was on that panel. They actually said a lot. So I know that ideas are here and you're already beginning to pick one. After the event, you can meet these people and also talk to them, get more knowledge. If you know you want to play in that space, there's a whole lot that can be done there. Thank you so much. So we'll move straight to the next activity of the day. And I'm quite excited about this. Somebody said something here, one of them, he said, let's give, what's it called? We should really give a round of applause to somebody. And he's going to be coming up the stage now to actually give us, what's it called? He's going to be speaking on the impact of blockchain in the economy of Nigeria. I'd like to call him one of the grandfathers of crypto and blockchain in Nigeria. The first ever blockchain event, the first ever blockchain and crypto event I attended in 2017 was hosted by him. That is, and till date, I attended the last one that happened, I think, a month ago here at Civic Center. And he has always done that in Abuja twice a year, in Abuja and in Lagos. And he's still doing it. And I like to see him as a very, very senior colleague in the industry. And like he said, he has taken, the first time I ever had to meet with the Stock Exchange Commission, he invited me as one of the stakeholders to go there. Let's go and be talking to the government. So let's invite the person of Mr. Chuta Chimezie. He's the founder of Blockchain Nigeria User Group. You can say BNUG. Let's welcome him as he gives us his speech.
Are you alive this morning? Come on, it's blockchain we are talking about. It's crypto on green days. Have it. So it's something that is worth celebrating. Can you put your hands together for yourself? The industry is smiling, the market is smiling. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I want to thank everyone that's in this event this morning. I want to appreciate Fintech Association Nigeria for what you've been doing since 2016, 2017. I started participating in Fintech Nigeria events and joined as individual and as organization. Thank you so much to the Fintech Association President. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for making it possible for us to have this kind of gathering annually. Thanks also to Dr., the CEO of Fintech Association Nigeria, and of course, the event organizer, Lee Uchenna, and your team at Coin News Extra. Thank you so much for putting up this wonderful event. And thank you also for attending, because it's one thing for someone to put in all the effort to arrange and organize events like this and have people like you come for such an event in a hostile traffic environment like Lagos State. Okay, so put your hands again together for yourself. You made it. I know there are some people that are still stuck in traffic trying to get here. So when Uchenna told me that I was going to be speaking about the blockchain opportunities for Nigeria's economy, I began to think, because we've been talking to policymakers and regulators on the value that this industry will add. You know, so sometimes I think that they don't hear very well, you know. I mean, policymakers and regulators, I don't know, there's something that is not very functional in their hearing system. You know, I don't know if it's the ear or interpretation of what we are saying. We've been trying to show them through various fora, openly and privately, why this technology is so important. And I'll be showing some of those things. And this is not another event or another presentation where we'll be defining what blockchain is. But we'll be looking at those things that, if government can do, can help drive positive economic fortunes for Nigeria. Right now, this country is in need of oxygen to survive. I mean, we are currently in a situation where if they don't bring in oxygen, the system will collapse. So we are not a sick country, we are in a critical country. That's what I mean. We have gone beyond being sick, and we need urgent oxygen to be injected. So can I have the next slide? And I want to begin to start giving you an overview of what blockchain represents to us today as an industry and as participants. We see it as the first native digital medium for value exchange. The key word there is native, because this is the first time that digital medium of exchange is created on the digital platform and they live 100% on the digital platform. Secondly, blockchain provides a foundational to the next generation of the internet is going to look like. Is going to be built on the foundation of blockchain. So whatever you're seeing right now in the regular web has climaxed. So a new foundation is laid through blockchain technology to begin to drive new innovations. Then it's a digital world where we can truly own things. You heard the guys that were on the panel talking about NFTs and metaverse. That is the capacity to own things on the digital space. Before now, you cannot possibly own things on the digital space. But blockchain technology is making it possible through other web technology.